In the big city of Lagos, Nigeria, there lived a very rich man named Daniel. People knew him all over West Africa as one of the richest men there. He had big houses, fast cars, and his own airplane. But Daniel was not always rich. Many years ago, Daniel was just a poor boy in a small village. His father died when Daniel was very young. His mother, Mama Rose, had to take care of him alone. She was a strong woman who worked very hard every day. Mama Rose sold firewood to make money. Every morning, she would walk into the forest to cut wood. Then she would carry the heavy wood on her head to the market. The money she made was very little, but she saved every penny for Daniel's school. Sometimes, Mama Rose would go to bed hungry so Daniel could eat. When Daniel needed books or uniforms for school, she would sell her only good dress or her cooking pot. She did this because she loved her son and wanted him to have a better life. "My son," she would tell Daniel, "education is the key to open all doors. Study hard, and one day you will help many people." Daniel was a smart boy. He worked very hard in school and got good grades. When he finished high school, he got a scholarship to study in America. Mama Rose cried tears of joy the day her son left for the big country across the ocean. In America, Daniel studied business and worked part-time jobs. After he finished university, he started his own company. He was very smart with money and worked day and night. His business grew bigger and bigger. Soon, he had many companies and became very rich. After 20 years in America, Daniel decided to come back to Nigeria. He was now a billionaire. He bought a huge mansion in Lagos with marble floors, golden chairs, and a swimming pool. The house had 10 bedrooms and 20 bathrooms. Daniel also got married to a beautiful woman named Cynthia. She was educated, spoke good English, and knew how to talk to rich people. Cynthia loved expensive clothes, jewelry, and fancy parties. She looked perfect next to Daniel at business meetings and social events. When Daniel brought his mother from the village to live with them, Cynthia was not happy. Mama Rose was now an old woman with grey hair and wrinkled hands. She still liked to wear her traditional wrapper clothes and wake up early to pray. Cynthia thought Mama Rose looked too much like a village woman. She was embarrassed when her rich friends came to visit and saw Daniel's mother. Cynthia would whisper to her friends, "She still smells like the village. I don't know why Daniel keeps her here." At first, Daniel did not know how badly Cynthia treated his mother. He was always busy with work, traveling to different countries for business meetings. He trusted Cynthia to take care of his mother while he was away. But Mama Rose was not being treated well. Instead of being honored as the mother of the house, Cynthia made her work like a servant. Every morning, Cynthia would give Mama Rose a list of things to do. "Clean the floors," Cynthia would say. "Wash the dishes. Iron the clothes. And make sure you don't talk to the guests when they come." The real servants in the house felt sorry for Mama Rose, but they were afraid to help her. They needed their jobs and could not go against Cynthia's orders. Mama Rose never complained to her son. She did not want to cause problems in his marriage. She cleaned the big house every day, even though her old bones hurt. She cooked food for everyone, even though Cynthia never said thank you. One day, Daniel had to travel to London for an important business meeting. He told Cynthia he would be gone for 1 week. But his meeting finished early, and he decided to surprise his wife by coming home 3 days early. Daniel did not tell anyone he was coming. He wanted to surprise Cynthia with gifts he bought in London. He took a taxi from the airport and arrived at his house in the evening. As Daniel opened the front door, he heard Cynthia's voice shouting from the living room. Her voice sounded angry and mean. Daniel walked quietly toward the sound to see what was happening. What Daniel saw made his heart break into pieces. His old mother was on her knees on the cold marble floor. She was scrubbing the floor with a brush, and her hands were shaking from tiredness. Mama Rose's wrapper was wet and dirty, and there were tears on her face. Cynthia was standing over her, shouting like a mean boss. "You missed a spot there, old woman. Do it again. And stop moving so slowly." My friends are coming tomorrow, and this house must be perfect." The servants and guards were standing around, watching. They looked uncomfortable, but nobody helped Mama Rose. They were all afraid of Cynthia. Daniel felt like someone had put a knife in his chest. This was his mother, the woman who gave up everything for him. The woman who went hungry so he could eat. The woman who sold her own clothes to buy his school books. But Daniel did not say anything at that moment. He quietly went back outside and sat in his car. He needed time to think about what he had seen. That night, after Cynthia helped Mama Rose to her room, Daniel called his wife to the living room. He sat calmly on the sofa and smiled at her. "Cynthia, my dear," he said. "I have a surprise for you. I want to take you to our private island this weekend. Just you and me. We can relax and enjoy time together." Cynthia's eyes lit up with excitement. The island was Daniel's most expensive property. It had a beautiful house, white sand beaches, and crystal clear water. Only very special guests were invited there. "Oh, Daniel," Cynthia said, hugging him. "That sounds wonderful. I will pack my best dresses and jewelry. This will be so romantic." Cynthia thought this meant Daniel loved her more than ever. She thought her plan to keep his mother busy with work was smart. She felt proud that she had kept the old woman out of Daniel's way. On Friday, they flew to the island in Daniel's private helicopter. The island was like a piece of heaven, palm trees, beautiful flowers, and servants who brought fresh fruit and cold drinks. For the first day, Daniel acted normal. They had dinner on the beach and watched the sunset. Cynthia felt like a queen. She took many photos to show her friends how perfect her life was. But on Saturday evening, Daniel's face became serious. They were sitting on the beach after dinner when he began to speak. "Cynthia," Daniel said quietly, "I want to tell you a story about my mother." Cynthia rolled her eyes. She did not want to hear about the old village woman. But Daniel continued. "When I was 7 years old, I got very sick. The doctor in our village said I needed special medicine that cost a lot of money. We were so poor that my mother did not have enough money for the medicine." Daniel looked at the ocean waves as he spoke. "Do you know what my mother did? She walked 15 miles to the next town. She went to every house, begging people to buy her only goat. Finally, someone bought it for half the price it was worth. She used that money to buy my medicine." Cynthia was getting bored, but she tried to look interested. "When I was 12, Daniel continued, I needed new school uniforms. All the other children had nice uniforms, but mine were old and torn. I felt ashamed. My mother saw me crying one morning before school." Daniel's voice became softer. "That evening, she came home without her gold wedding ring, the only thing she had left from my father. She had sold it to buy me new uniforms. When I asked her about the ring, she said, 'Some things are more important than gold, my son.'" Now Cynthia was starting to feel uncomfortable. She could see that Daniel was very emotional. "The night before I left for America," Daniel said, "my mother gave me a small bag of money. It was everything she had saved for 20 years. She told me it was for emergencies in the big country. Later, I found out she had sold her small piece of land, the only thing of value she owned, to give me that money." Daniel turned to look at Cynthia directly. "Do you know what I promised my mother that night?" Cynthia shook her head. "I promised her that if God blessed me with success, I would build her a throne to sit on. I promised that she would never work another day in her life. I promised that she would be treated like the queen she is." Daniel's eyes were now filled with tears, but his voice was strong. "Yesterday, when I came home early, I saw my mother on her knees, scrubbing floors like a servant. I saw you shouting at her like she was nobody. I saw the woman who gave me everything being treated worse than a dog." Cynthia's face went white. She realized Daniel had seen everything. "Daniel, I can explain," she started to say. "No," Daniel said, standing up. "There is nothing to explain. I saw the truth. I saw who you really are. Daniel looked at his wife with sadness in his eyes. You married a billionaire, but you never understood how he became one. You enjoyed the fruits of my success, but you spit on the roots that made it possible. I'm sorry, Daniel, Cynthia said, starting to cry. I didn't mean to hurt your mother. I was just trying to keep the house perfect for you. By making my mother work like a slave. Daniel asked. By treating her like she was nothing? This woman went hungry so I could eat. She walked miles in the rain to pay my school fees. And you made her scrub floors. Daniel walked toward the house. I'm leaving you here tonight, Cynthia. Not forever, but long enough for you to think about what kind of person you want to be. There is food, water, and everything you need. The staff will take care of you. But you need to think about your actions. You can't leave me here alone. Cynthia cried. You are not alone, Daniel said. You are with yourself. Maybe for the first time, you can think about who you really are inside. Daniel took the helicopter back to Lagos that same night. When he arrived at his mansion, he went straight to his mother's room. Mama Rose was sleeping, but she woke up when she heard him come in. My son, you came back early, she said, trying to sit up. Daniel knelt by her bed and took her old hands in his. Mama, I am so sorry. I failed you. I broke my promise. What promise, my son? Mama Rose asked. I promised to build you a throne, but instead I let you work like a servant in my own house. I promised you would never suffer again, but I was blind to your pain. Mama Rose touched her son's face gently. My son, I am not angry. I know you work hard. I know you have many responsibilities. No, Mama, Daniel said. Nothing is more important than honoring you. You are the reason for everything good in my life. The next morning, Daniel made a big decision. He called his assistant and told him to arrange everything for a trip back to their home village. He was going to build his mother the palace he had promised her many years ago. But what about Cynthia, his assistant asked. Cynthia made her choice when she chose to dishonor my mother, Daniel said. Now she must live with the results of that choice. Daniel and Mama Rose flew to the village in his helicopter. All the villagers came out to see the big machine land in their small community. They remembered Daniel as the poor boy who left many years ago. In just 3 months, Daniel built the most beautiful house the village had ever seen. It was not as big as his Lagos mansion, but it was perfect for Mama Rose. The house had a beautiful garden, a place for her to pray, and comfortable chairs where she could sit and watch the sunrise. Daniel also built a school and a hospital for the village. He never forgot where he came from, and he wanted to help other children who were like him, poor but full of dreams. Meanwhile, Cynthia stayed on the island for 5 days. At first, she was angry and felt sorry for herself. But as the days passed, she began to think about her actions. She remembered how Daniel's mother had always been kind to her, even when she was mean. When Daniel finally sent the helicopter to bring her back to Lagos, Cynthia found the mansion empty. All of Daniel's things were gone. On the dining table, there was a letter addressed to her. The letter said, Cynthia, I have gone back to the village with my mother. I am building her the palace I promised her long ago. You are a beautiful and smart woman, but beauty fades and knowledge without wisdom is useless. The most important thing a person can have is a good heart. My mother taught me that we must always remember where we came from. She taught me that no amount of money can buy honor, and no success is worth having if we lose our humanity. You forgot that the woman you treated badly is the reason you had a comfortable life. Without her sacrifices, there would be no Daniel, no success, and no mansion for you to live in. I am not angry with you, but I cannot live with someone who does not respect the people who made me who I am. Your things have been packed and moved to the apartment downtown. There is enough money in your account to live comfortably. I wish you well, but our marriage is over. Remember, the person who cannot honor the roots of the tree does not deserve its fruit. Cynthia read the letter 3 times. She cried for hours, not just because she lost her wealthy lifestyle, but because she realized she had lost a good man because of her pride and selfishness. In the village, Daniel lived peacefully with his mother. Every morning, he would sit with her on the porch of her new house and listen to her stories. Every evening, they would walk together through the village, greeting the people who had known him since he was a boy. Mama Rose was finally living like the queen she deserved to be. The village children would come to visit her, and she would tell them stories and give them advice about working hard in school. You see, she would tell them, my son never forgot that success means nothing if you forget the people who helped you achieve it. Daniel learned that being truly rich was not about having money in the bank. It was about having people in your life who loved you for who you were, not what you owned. He continued to run his businesses, but now he spent more time with his mother and helping his community. He never married again, but he was happy. He had honored the woman who gave him everything. Years later, when people asked Daniel about the secret to true happiness, he would always give the same answer: honor your roots, help your people, and never forget where you came from. Money can buy many things, but it cannot buy a clear conscience or a peaceful heart. And in the village, on a beautiful hill overlooking green fields, Mama Rose lived her final years like the queen she had always been in her son's heart. The end.